A very good day to be a fan of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Thanks for joining us on the show today. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, of course, we'll be talking about the African Cup of Nations, and of course, we will be talking about the exploits of the Super Eagles. We'll also be talking about other matches played, the ones currently going on, and we'll see when we're done with the AFCON if we can have time to talk about all the exciting sporting stories all for you. It's a two-man show. My colleague Austin Okon-Akpan is suited and ready, and of course we're taking this trip together.
What a greetings to you, Yemi, and of course everyone joining us on the show tonight. Yemi, I must say your smile is contagious, and I understand where that is coming from. The Super Eagles of Nigeria did just enough to stay relevant on top of on the Group A table, and of course took a bit of pressure off themselves. So now avoid defeat against Guinea-Bissau and make it to the round of 16. We'll talk about everything going on at the Africa Cup of Nations. What a story, beautiful football on display. We've seen good goals, we've seen upsets, and now Nigerians are not just singing, they're dancing.
Yeah, they're dancing. Exciting times ahead. Now let's pause before we introduce our partner. We'll pause and we go straight into that segment where all we do is to talk about the Africa Cup of Nations. All right, let's just quickly introduce our guest in the Lagos studio. We've had a lot of time to chat even before the show starts. I hope we'll be able to look at all the angles, too many angles to look at. Shola Rogers joins us tonight. Shola Rogers, I don't know what to say, but thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here. Since I started coming to this new studio, I always get this vibe when I come here. So I still call it new, you see?
Yeah.
I like it.
It feels new. I mean, let's just go straight into it. How do you feel? Victory is good. Maybe we've not hit the heights a lot of people want to see, but surely victory is good.
Victory is good. That's what everybody wants. Nobody goes into a battle expecting to lose, except you know something that we don't know. So it's a nice feeling to actually get the Super Eagles win a grade A game. You understand? Like, can't remember the last time this happened. I'm being honest with you. So yes, it's a very good feeling. And I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. I just want to, play it up and say, let's enjoy it, because we don't get this all the time with this team.
All right, we're going to have a robust conversation. Austin's going to bring in another person who's waiting on the wings. But I don't want this to get lost in transition. So let me ask you, what did we do right today?
What did we do right? Defending.
Okay.
We got it right in the defense, of the game. The defending department was cohesive. Everything worked from the back. We were able to soak up the pressure, and we tried a few counter-attacking runs. I think that's where we got it right. For me, defending worked today because we didn't really get the goals in open play until there was a penalty. So yeah, but the defending worked, because if we didn't really lock up at the back, different story.
All right. Okay, let me you to Austin. It's going to probably give us another angle to this whole conversation, and we're going to be going back and forth with all of it. I mean, Austin, I want to get your immediate reaction as well. I know, of course, we also have someone else waiting in the wings. But your immediate reaction, I'm excited. I don't care how it comes. Victory is all good.
No, it's all good, particularly when you have so much expectations from the Super Eagles of Nigeria after that drab opening game against Equatorial Guinea. They were expected to win. They played 1-1. Equatorial Guinea going on to show that they can actually be the toast of the tournament. They've continued where they stopped at the last edition. So today, was there a bit of tension? Yes, but I kept saying we know how to play Côte d'Ivoire. And with that, I think that's why the Ivorians came and, sit back a bit, trying to catch us on the counter. but it didn't happen. But just as you said in your opening remarks, victory is sweet. No one will even, I'm sure people who wrote down the errors and some of the things they did wrong, probably they've forgotten now because they're celebrating the win and hoping that this team gets better against Guinea-Bissau. And in with this sort of conversation, yeah, I mean, what we try to do as moderators, we're not supposed to have opinions, because by the time I start going on with my opinions now, people will come for me. I'm glad we have Shola Rogers in Lagos. It's a tale of Sholas tonight on the show. Right here in London with me, Shola Edegbele. Shola, good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen, and thank you for having me on the show today.
Awesome. Shola is a football data analyst. Shola, let me begin this way. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, first win at this year's AFCON. Was it a rich display by the Super Eagles, or Cote d'Ivoire was just so poor?
I think we need to give our players and our team credit where it's due. The team clearly had a plan, which was to defend and hit Cote d'Ivoire on the counter-attack, and they executed it perfectly. I have no complaints with today's performance. I'm very happy. I have not seen the Super Eagles play like this in years.
Awesome. Jose Pizarro also got us wondering. Don't try me, Shola. Don't tell me you didn't start biting your nails when you saw the formation, when you saw Calvin Bassey playing out of where we know him to play. And for the duration of the game, he was just roving with tactics. What was that all about today?
Yes, Pizarro showed his worth today. We have to remember, on the game on Sunday, our best player, Yusuf, was injured. Pizarro even called him the man of the match. So for this game, Pizarro had to completely change all of his tactics, and we can see that it worked. Today he brought in Bassey, played him as a left wide back, and it worked. The defense was on complete lockdown. Cote d'Ivoire could barely create any chances. They had to resort to long-range shots. So I think well done to the coach. A lot of people had questions about his tactical flexibility and whether he was the right man for the job. But so far, it looks like he's doing the right things.
Let me go to Shola Rogers, and then Yami will take you from there. Shola, I watched Victor Osimhen today again. I think opening minutes, he got not properly clear-cut chance, but one that you'd expect a striker to finish. Is Victor Osimhen under any form of pressure?
A whole lot of pressure, actually. You know, Victor has not hit his peak yet. If you look at Victor from this season compared to Victor from last season, and it's not about the Super Eagles, it's not about his club, it's actually about him. So I hope he actually finds his rhythm in the next game. But even at that, if he's not giving you the goals, he still brings something extra to the table. So I want to cut him some slack. But yes, there are chances that you would expect, you know, prime Victor Osimhen to score that he didn't score in the last game and in this one.
Let me dive in, Shola. People have said, and Pesaro didn't do that in this game, but we won. People have said he appears like Victor needs support. But then there are those who will argue, okay, yes, he needs support, but he got chances, then he scores. So how do you balance that? We have won. Well, you know, and nobody's trying to criticize the team. We're all rejoicing. So where do you stand? He needs support, or even with the way we're playing, he's still getting chances. So where do you stand on that?
Yeah, because if he's the sole striker, you know, if you look at the way the team is set up, you know, we had 3 defenders, like central defenders, and we had 2 guys from the flanks, which gave us a man-up situation whenever we were going forward. There was no support striker like that, you know, because it was Onyeka and Iwobi. And on the flanks, we had wingers who could get goals too, anyway, in their day. But it would have been nice if at some point in time, maybe there was a Murphy or Iheanacho or Onuachu that Osimhen can feed off or can feed off Osimhen. They can play off him. So yes, I get that when they say he needs support. The support he needs is not in expecting only him to score, but to say that he could actually even draw the defenders out and allow another striker to get the goals.
All right. Okay, let me also go to Shola. I'll throw this in. What's a classic smash and grab? But as with all smash and grabs, it doesn't work all the time.
Yes, I agree with you. It doesn't work all of the time. In our next game against Guinea-Bissau, I expect us to be more attack-minded and really put the pressure and try to dominate possession again like we did against Equatorial Guinea. I think Pesira has showed tactical flexibility. He's shown us that when we need to defend, he knows how to execute a plan. And he's also shown us when we need to attack, he's not afraid of playing 2 strikers up front or going with 3 forwards. So I think we have the right ingredients to mix it up. Whether we need to attack or whether we need to defend, we'll take it on a game-by-game basis.
Awesome. Shala, let's stay with some of the issues that we were trying to resolve before the start of this AFCON goalkeeping crisis. Is the storm over now?
The storm is definitely over. What I can categorically say is that if there's one thing that Pesira has done, he has found us a suitable goalkeeper that we can build a team around. Nwambele showed good confidence, he showed good distribution, he showed good reflexes, and he was able to calm the defenders down. We are very, very lucky to have been able to found such a competent goalkeeper in a time when we were really facing crisis.
Shala Rogers, what really did it for the Super Eagles tonight?
Yeah, like I said earlier, we got it right in the defense department. We were able to, soak up the pressure. We could play for each other. Like, arguably, this is the best AFCON game I've seen in years.
Ever without the penalty?
Yeah, without the penalty. I'm talking defensive now, solely defensive. Like, I saw him, cover up for people. There was this particular interception that he made, and he was pointing at the other person like, this was supposed to be your ball or something. That's what I read from his body language. So we really got it right. Now, Pesero tends to be he likes to defend. I'm seeing him as a coach that likes to defend, and it worked for him today. The beauty of it was the form of the players. In the first game, we didn't really play as a team. We didn't really gel. But in this one, there was more cohesion, there's more cooperation. You're seeing players cover for each other and all of that. Like, they're trying to play as a unit. They're not there yet. They're way off being there yet. This is not it yet. But today was a marked improvement on the previous games, on the last 4 or 5 games we've seen the Eagles play.
Let me throw this in, and I'll get back to Austin. We had a chat, and we were talking about players that could change games, players that we've not seen. The coaches with them every day probably knows what we don't know, but from what we already know about those guys, if we want to attack, which players do you think we need to see more of?
Well, I would really love to see Kelechi in this tournament, and I'm a big fan of Onuachu. There's this presence that he brings. If our wingers can deliver the balls into the box, look at the way Osimhen rose for the first goal that we got in this tournament, and Onuachu would naturally fit into that situation because of the height advantage that he has, and I like to watch his movement off the ball, you get. So yeah, I want to see those kind of players. I want to see a Terry Murphy, now that at least we're more likely going to qualify for the round of 16, There are players on the bench that really needs to get...
Maybe Joe Aribo midfield?
Aribo, like, you really don't even need to play, and it will be 90 minutes, honestly. In my opinion, we could have him start because of the experience he has garnered through the years, and have an Aribo replace him, because just like in the last game, even if he wasn't replacing him, when he came, there was this verve that he had and everything, and it worked. It actually worked.
Okay.
Let's just get a confirmation of some of the results from that Group A and what it looks like now, because while people are singing and dancing, I say, hey, relax. It's not yet over. And by the time we show you a confirmation of the results, what Equatorial Guinea did against Guinea-Bissau and what Nigeria did against Cote d'Ivoire, yes, I describe it as less worry, but there's still a lot of work to be done. But shout out to Equatorial Guinea. Today they showed the world that, look, they are not yet to play. Emilio Insue became, I think, scored the 18th hat-trick of the competition. We've not seen hat-trick at this competition since 2008. Yeah. And this guy on your screen, veteran, came up today big against Guinea-Bissau, and that's why I keep saying it that there are no small teams anymore in Africa, Yemi.
Yeah, especially with the results we've been seeing. All right, let's start with the results. You're already seeing the table, and a lot of people are happy with where Nigeria is after match day 2. But let's start with the results. I think we can do that first. And Austin has alluded to the results. There you have it. Equatorial Guinea 4-2. They defeated Guinea-Bissau. And a lot of people say probably they've opened up the path for the Super Eagles. Who knows? Then, of course, the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated the hosts, Côte d'Ivoire, courtesy of a goal from the penalty spot by the captain of the team, Willem Troost Ekong. All right, let's see how it looks like after match day 2. Group A, the table, day 2. Let's see what it looks like. And this is what it looks like. Surprise, surprise. Equatorial Guinea on top, 4 points from 2 matches, a goal difference of +2, followed by the Super Eagles of Nigeria, same 4 points, goal difference of 1, and Côte d'Ivoire, of course, 3 points, and Guinea-Bissau having just, no points. They've lost there. So this is how it stands. Shola, before I yield back to us, I want to ask you, I asked you this question a while ago, that some groups we have, in groups probably where you have a whipping boy, no disrespect, but you might likely have a situation where 3 teams might qualify, which begs the question, if 3 teams might qualify, you shouldn't rest because you don't want to be one of the best losers.
No, you don't want to be. We don't even want to be in that situation. After the first game, everybody had gone to bring out their calculators all over again. And we were already saying, oh, if Equatorial Guinea does this, this will do that. We don't want to be in that situation. And you also don't want to be the best loser qualifier or whatever they are called, right? So it's, from this point, it has to be up and up for us. Like, the first game was tight. We played a score draw. Second game, with all the hype and noise and the crowd and the build-up, they actually declared some kind of public holiday today because of Nigeria, Côte d'Ivoire, the stadium was. With all of that, we won. So you don't want to now take your foot off the pedal and go easy on the next team. You want to play them like it's a cup final. So that is important. That way, there's no need to be calculating that, oh, if Côte d'Ivoire ends up beating Equatorial Guinea.
Just do your job.
Just do your job. Play like it's a cup final. That's what we need to do now. We just need to go all out and play with our best 11, get the results, then we can start looking at. Because there's this myth that, look, if you're top of your group, you meet a lesser team. It's not confirmed like that, because at times, the team that came second could be stronger.
All right. We're about to go on the break, but let me yield to us. Now, I'm sure the sentiments are the same. I mean, the job is not done yet.
It's not done, I always say it. I still need to see more from this team. I still feel they need to understand themselves. I still feel they still need to learn how to, break out opponents with good passes, run into positions. Paul Onuachu came in, and I totally agree with Shola Rogers. I tweeted that I like him because he knows how to hold on play. Osimhen is finding it tough because he's the best player in Africa. He's got more than 1, sometimes 3 men on him. So he can actually not do so much. But I expect Alex Iwobi, hold the play, call your opponents out, try and displace 1 or 2 persons, and then play that killer pass. Let's see some finesse. Let's see some flair. Let's see that you guys have been training together. Let's see some understanding. Let's see execution of tactics. Let us see that you guys are professional footballers. No disrespect to what they've achieved today. I mean, it's fantastic. If you take a look at Côte d'Ivoire and how they were really pumped up for this one, you know this was indeed a victory that we should cherish. It didn't just renew hopes. It actually kept us in a good place. It brought down our blood pressures. And now the coaches can actually, get some relief as we get on with the competition. Let's go on that break. I don't think we're done with the AFCON segment now. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, Shola Edegbele is right here in London with me. We're going to ask him, what should the Super Eagles do against Guinea-Bissau? How should they approach that one? We'll talk about it when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're monitoring that game between Egypt and Ghana. Crunch encounter, 23 minutes already played. It's goalless. Ghana with their chances. Egypt also creating chances, but the deadlock hasn't been broken yet. That one will definitely, get us talking. But the Nigerians have started a troll on Twitter now that they've won against Cote d'Ivoire. They are saying, Chale, you better win or they come for Ghana. So I think we should just stay focused on ours first. So I said I was going to ask Shola before we get on to see what will happen in Group C at the AFCON. Shola, now,
which Shola?
It's not a comfortable position, but it's relaxing. Okay, takes pressure off us. But how should they? The Super Eagles, how should they approach that final group game against Guinea-Bissau?
Austin, we need to treat that game like a World Cup final. We need to win by a wide margin, so that we can send the message out to the other teams. If Equatorial Guinea can score 4 goals against Guinea-Bissau, we should be aiming to score 5. We need to start the game with our strongest team and then win the game, hopefully by halftime, so that we can give our players on the bench some minutes. I think that should be the plan moving forward.
That's right. Talking about players on the bench, who is the impressive player that you'd like to see against Guinea-Bissau?
We really need to see Iheanacho. I think we are creating chances, but we're not finishing. So Osimhen has missed a few chances. And as you mentioned, a lot of players are marking him, they're monitoring him because he's the AFCON CAF Player of the Year. So we really need to see what Iheanacho can do now that he's back from injury. We need to see what Moffi can do. We also need to see what Joe Aribo can do because Iwobi has played almost 2 90-minute matches now. We need to give him a rest. So there are players that we need to give chances to. Yusuf Al-Hassan was our man of the match in the last game. He's back against Guinea-Bissau. We also need to give him minutes. So we need to do some rotation because any player can get injured or any player can get suspended. We need to ensure that the players on the bench are also getting minutes so that we know they're ready for when they're called up on.
I totally agree. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. We have a funny scenario where sometimes we have to know the Shola we're referring to. So my next question goes to Shola Rogers. But if you ask me, I think I agree with what I've heard. We need to take that game seriously. We need to win, and we also get those players, get them some minutes, so you don't go to the next round putting in players who've not tasted the AFCON. It's going to feel somehow. Shola Rogers, talking about Nigeria, and you've talked about some of the players you want to see. Do you think we've turned the corner? That's the issue, because when we win a game, we forget about all of these issues. It worked today. But have we turned the corner?
Nope. It's early days. How can we say we turned the corner in a game that Cote d'Ivoire had almost double the number of passes that we had? How can we say we turned the corner when they had more shots on target than us? They had more possession than us, almost double our possession. How can we say we turned the corner? People will go get carried away. We're going to get carried away with the results. I am not. You've been around for a few days to know that it's one game at a time. We have not turned any corner. We still don't have a team yet. We don't have cohesion. We don't have, this is not that team that you'll be like, you already know that, when this person has the ball, there are 2 people running wide for him. They know the ball is going to land. We're not there yet, so we haven't turned the corner.
Can we grow as this tournament progresses?
We have to grow. We don't have a choice. We're condemned to grow. Nigerians are counting on the team to grow. Everybody's happy. People are dancing out there like, oh yeah, like we already won the World Cup. Do you understand? Because it was doomsday before this game, and now everybody put away the gloom and they're so happy now. So it's booming, and what we need to do is just to continue like that. Can we grow? Oh yes, there's plenty of room for improvement, but don't take your foot off the pedal. Like I said earlier, and I'm glad that my namesake, although he has an H in his name, we'll talk about that later, like we both agree, play the game like it's a cup final. So can we grow? Yes, we are. We don't even have a choice. We don't.
All right, Shola Adegbile, let me ask you this as I yield to Austin. Shola here, and I agree with him. believes we're not there yet. And let's not get carried away with this victory. How adaptable is this team? Now we went in with a defensive tactics. It worked, smash and grab. But there will be games where we will need to do something else. Do you think we have the ingredients, we have the material, if a situation requires that we do something else?
I don't think. I know that we have the ingredients to beat any team in this tournament. There is no team that I've seen in round one that I'm scared of. The match against Equatorial Guinea where we drew 1-1, we completely dominated that game. And if it was a different day, we would have won 4 or 5-1. For us to beat Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, in Côte d'Ivoire, and as Shola said, they had a national holiday, so they can get fans into the stadium. For us to go there and beat them, that says a lot about the character of the team. I'm seeing a lot of similarities between 2013 set and this set. Before AFCON 2013, everybody wrote off the team. During AFCON 13, we had to play Côte d'Ivoire, where they had Drogba, Touré, and everybody thought Stephen Keshi's team was going to go home. But what happened by the end of the tournament? We won. In the first game in AFCON 2013, we drew. We didn't win our first game, but we built. We took it game by game. So I'm seeing a lot of similarities, and I'm very, very sure by the end of this tournament, we Nigerians, we will be asking Jose Pesero to extend his contract.
Okay, that's a book.
I don't know. I know I've been talking to Shola. I don't know when you guys started, liking this team to 2013. 2013 was, yes, we didn't believe in them, but me and the door of the Sholas we have, that was a good team. In midfield, there was John Obi Mikel, Ogei, Onazi, there was Sunday Umba, and we had Nosai Gebo, there was Sengon Good, there was Ruben Gabriel, there was Obion and Wankwo. Yeah. Come on. So I don't want us to go into that yet, but that was indeed a good team. But I understand our cynicism at the time with Coach Stephen Keshi. Yeah, I think we should just get into Group C. Yeah. This day when you talk about Senegal, everybody just say give them the trophy.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. All right, let me just go across, and that's going to be our last port of call on the Nations Cup. We'll look at the fixtures. Then, of course, the Sholas we have in the house will tell us what they think would happen. Matches will be played tomorrow. Teranga Lions of Cameroon will be up against the indomitable Lions. We'll see which roar will go loudest. And, of course, Guinea and Gambia, both of them, will be seeking their first win in this tournament. All right. Shola first, before I go to Shola Degbele. Make a call as quick as you can. Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, Gambia.
Historically, Senegal, Cameroon are at par, head-to-head and all of that. But if you look at current form and everything, and the fact that the defending champions still kept, the core of their team, if there's going to be a winner, it would be Senegal. I'll put my money on Senegal, regardless. Now for Guinea, Gambia, this Guinean team building up to AFCON, I was expecting so much from them, especially with the last result that they got, and I was shocked when they didn't, kick off from there. But against Gambia, it could be anything. So I'm not going to put my neck out on any of them.
Oh, okay.
Whatever happens, Guinea, Gambia, it's all good. But Senegal, here, this is me saying I expect Senegal to defeat Cameroon.
Okay. All right. The Guineans had my respect in the last game, played with 10 men against Cameroon, and Cameroon couldn't win. Just my thoughts, but I don't know what's going to happen. Not good at predicting scores. All right, let me yield to, of course, Austin was going to ask Shola a last question, as it's going to be last part of question, and of course, probably will be done with the AFCON after that. But Austin, what you have at the fixtures, your thoughts?
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with everything you talked about Guinea. I thought they were really impressive when Cameroon got the numerical advantage. Guinea still held on to the play. Guinea didn't show respect. They didn't sit back. They were still on the offensive. They were a bit more careful. But Cameroon didn't take, the opportunity. They didn't show class. They didn't show character. They didn't show like, oh, there's an opportunity now. Let's just go and kill the game. So, Shala, with what you've seen, let's take a look at that Group C. We've seen just one game from the champion Senegal. They pushed aside Gambia 3-0. They go against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. On paper, you just want to give that to Senegal. But with what you know of Cameroon, are you expecting any form of upset?
No. I think Senegal will win that game very comfortably. I think there's been a lot of drama in the Cameroon camp with the goalkeeper. So I don't think everything is very smooth over there. I think Senegal will definitely win that game. They looked very impressive in their first game. I think, however, Guinea will definitely beat Gambia. I don't think that will be a draw. I think Guinea played very well against Cameroon. They had 10 men, as you mentioned. They didn't show respect. I think they may potentially come second in this group, above Cameroon.
When Gambia beats Guinea, Shala, you're getting a phone call from me. I must say thank you so much. I must say thank you so much for your time on the show tonight, Shala.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
All right, so let's leave Group C and get into Group B. I told you one of the important matches in that group between Ghana and Egypt still going on. 35 minutes played, is still goalless. They're having their water break now. Look, anyhow you want to look at it, that Group B looks like a very tricky group. And with what Cape Verde did in the opening game, anything can still happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. I don't know what to say. Maybe I'll just talk about this, then I'll go to Shola. Cape Verde will take on Mozambique. It looks like the pathway, that's Group B fixture, going to be played tomorrow. It looks like the pathway for Cape Verde it's not slippery as it should, because if they get the job done before they get to the Egyptians, I mean, it's curtains for them. They're off. But should we be surprised? I know the focus normally should have been on Egypt and Ghana. But should we be surprised? Because in the last 6, 7, 8 years, Cape Verde have been coming at us. There was a time they almost got to the World Cup, very close, almost got to the final qualifying rounds. And the fact that they're affiliated to Portugal, some of their players play around Portugal and Spain, maybe not in the top clubs, is that the reason why they're doing well?
They have talented players. We're not going to take that away from them. And like you said, in the last 5, 6, 7 years, they've been consistent. This team actually scares me. Like, normally you're afraid of Egypt or Ghana. But you see, Cape Verde, when I hear the name, I'm afraid. Like, I personally don't want Nigeria playing this kind of teams, because there's something about this Cape Verdean team. So, yes, their pathway is not exactly slippery, but I really expect them to pull through. I expect to see them in the next round.
Okay, all right.
Regardless of the teams in their group. And that's a really tough call, but yes, I'm sticking by it.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Ghana, Egypt, both teams have not really, light things up at the tournament. I feel the hangover of the last Nations Cup is still over Ghana. It's part of the fact that they qualified for the World Cup, because the World Cup was a gift, in my opinion. It was Nigeria's to lose, and we gave it away. And I just can't put my money on what the problem is with Ghana.
Ghana, like Nigeria, have not been doing well, or have not been playing as expected. And it has to do with a lot of factors. We cannot talk about all of that now, but we have similar problems, administrative problems and all of that. There's a way it just culminates into what you see, So that's why Ghana has issues. It's similar to what Nigeria has. But for Egypt, you expect them to kick on from here onwards, especially when it didn't go the way everybody in the world thought it would go. I'm sure the bookies made a lot of money from the first round of AFCON games, But when push comes to shove, you would expect Ghana to edge this game. I know the game is still live, but if I look at it, look at the personnel, look at the way Egypt is set up, look at the way Ghana is set up, I would expect Egypt to edge this one.
All right. Austin can tell us, because Austin is obviously monitoring this, is with us, but obviously monitoring. It's a big game. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen. So, Austin, we're with you. We're about to wrap up with the AFCON segment. So, it's live. What's happening?
It's still goalless in that game between Egypt and Ghana. 38 minutes gone. Right after that water break, Ghana tried to, catch Egypt on the counter, but that play was subdued right away. The Egyptians are taking it quite easy. It seemed to be a balanced battle in midfield. Mo Salah is under some bit of pressure, but I think at the end of the day, whatever with any of the teams that get to score in this first half might just come back to consolidate in the second. But with the analysis we made about Cape Verde, now don't forget Mozambique, the Mambas were really impressive in that opening game against Egypt. So if this game ends in a draw and Mozambique goes on to beat Cape Verde, then we should be ready for some drama, from this Group B. But at the moment it's goalless, and I don't know, they're both just stopping the plays. When a team is trying to counter, the other team just brings an intentional foul. So the referee needs to be on top of his game in terms of punishing players, so we can see some, free-flowing football happening, and then hopefully we're going to get a goal before the end of the first half. But I don't see that happening yet.
All right, and that takes us to the end of the AFCON segment. So we'll pause. Of course, you see us on the other side. All right. Of course, we're done with football. It's understandable at this time, the focus on the AFCON. Austin, let me yield to you on this one. Let's talk about WNBA stars. In Nigeria, of course, lighting up the space. Talking about the federal government having the duo of two-time WNBA All-Star Chine Ogumike, and of course one other lady in Nigeria, and it was a grand ceremony, grand occasion, and of course at that occasion the sports minister John Eno also talked about the impact such events as this could have, and what we hope to gain from having these ladies in the country.
4 months down the line as sports development minister, what I've tried to do as much as possible is to balance out both. Beyond football, we have several other sports. A few days ago on Sunday, I was in Abidjan to witness Nigeria's first match in the ongoing AFCON. I am glad that this is happening now, that the US president considered this as the best time to send Leslie and Chini in a tour of 3 African countries, and it's good that Nigeria is listed amongst the 3.
All right, Minister of Sports Development, of course, John Eno. I had the pleasure of hosting Leslie, and of course, Chine Ogumike. All right, let me get Austin's thoughts around this one. A lot of people of Nigerian descent doing well across the globe, and you would think at some point we will begin to benefit from having all of these people in places they're in. Okay, I think Austin has to unmute. And
the biggest gain for us as a country is that these sporting personalities are proud to be associated with Nigeria. Mm-hmm. They come back home, they organize clinics, they empower young persons. I'm glad that the minister, and the federal government found good reasons to honor them, but we cannot leave it at that. We must find ways to collaborate. We must trigger strategic partnerships with their clubs, with sponsors that are associated with this talent. Chimi Ogumike has come up severally to, empower young girls. Now Lisa will see the need to also do just that. More WNBA players of Nigerian descent will do that. I think it has to be structured. I think we need to make them feel special. We need to let them understand that they can be part of this, developmental process. I love it so much, to whom honor is due, you should, actually give them their flowers. Before I get Shola Rogers to comment on this, let's quickly listen to the legends themselves talk about their visit to Nigeria.
Oftentimes, people talk about Nigeria and they talk about the natural resources, but we all understand that the best resource is the people and primarily the youth. 1 in 4 individuals by 2050 will have African heritage, will be African. That is the reason why the NBA, the most prominent league in the world, and the WNBA chose that its first league outside of the US will be on the continent. They understand that the talent, and we've seen the league. It's the Basketball Africa League led by Amadou Gaye-Fall, who's a tremendous leader and is changing the game. And so I'm grateful to be on the council on behalf of the youth, on behalf of the young women, who people don't realize the power of sports. We found in the United States that if you are a young woman and if you are a C-suite member as a woman, which means CEO, COO, CMO, that means that 95% of those women in C-suites, they found out that they played high school or college sports. And what does that tell you? That tells you that sports teaches you teamwork, camaraderie, leadership, independence, and able to just really transform your life, not just on the court, but also in bigger ways on the horizon. And so sports is truly powerful.
Excited about being a role model for so many young girls that look like me, to have educated myself in the universities and to have degrees is important, because I believe that our education is always going to be key to our success and our ability to help one another move the needle, to continue to be role models for so many young girls and boys that look like us. And so it is beyond an honor to be here. I look forward to coming back and helping us impact the youth, because as you guys have mentioned, the youth is our future, and it's important for them to see us and to understand that they can be like us.
So that's Elisa Leslie and of course Chimi Ogumike. And Yemi, you know me, when I hear the power of sports to transform lives, I just come alive. And in a stretch of 5 seconds, she told us how powerful sports can be used, to empower young persons, develop leadership skills, teamwork, team bonding, and of course be responsible people in the society. The game between Egypt and Ghana still goalless. We're approaching halftime. Unfortunately, I cannot get Shola Rogers' views on that. It's time to go. In London, I'm Austin Okonak, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Well, it's a wrap on the show, but of course I can't leave without saying a very big thank you to Shola Rogers. Of course, the conversation never ends. We'll take it out, and hopefully we'll do this again some other time. All right, that's the show. We hope you've enjoyed everything. We enjoyed every bit ourselves. One more edition for the week. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.